Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So let's get on to solving 5 or 4 prelims questions for prelims 2020. And question number 1. Which of the following correctly describes the term unemployment trap? तो unemployment trap के बारे में ये क्वेश्चन है. नंबर 1, fall in employment growth डिस्पाइट रोबस्ट इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ. इकोनॉमी में ग्रोथ सही जा रहा है लेकिन आपका एम्प्लॉयमेंट कम हो रहा है. इज दिस व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट ट्रैप? सेकेंड इज द सिचुएशन वेयर अनएम्प्लॉयड पीपल आर अनविलिंग टू जॉइन द लेबर फोर्स. ऐसा सिचुएशन जिधर अनएम्प्लॉयड लोग लेबर फोर्स को ज्वाइन ही नहीं करना चाहते, वो काम ही नहीं करना चाहते. सी इज the situation where the majority of workers are employed in the low paying or unorganized sector. ऐसा situation जिधर सबसे ज़्यादा लोग unorganized sector में employed हैं. Is this what we mean by unemployment trap? And the last is the situation where the number of jobs created is less than the number of people entering the job market. तो अगर 10 मिलियन लोग हर साल जॉब में एंटर कर रहे हैं मार्केट में और इकॉनमी सिर्फ 8 मिलियन जॉब ही क्रिएट कर रही है. सो इज दिस व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट ट्रैप? Pause a bit and try to come up with the right answer. It's really important question. Anyways, let's see the answer now. Now herein, unemployment trap simply means a situation where unemployed people, they are unwilling to join the labor force. This is a very peculiar situation that is a possibility not in case of a developing nation but definitely in the nations where social security benefits are very high. So let's look at the explanation right here. So unemployment trap is a situation where the unemployment allowances or benefits it discourage the unemployed to go to work. Now this is quite self-explanatory. नहीं काम करने से ही गवर्नमेंट आपको हर महीने पैसा दे रही है, then one would really not be willing to go to work. This is what we mean by unemployment trap. Now एक ज़रा सा technical language में इसको हम ऐसे समझ सकते हैं because there is a probability of anybody framing a difficult question by using this difficult language, that is an unemployment trap arises when the opportunity cost of going to work is higher than the income received. Now it is nothing. All we have to understand is what do we mean by opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is the value of a next best alternative. Now what does this mean? So value of next best alternative means, let's say you are right now working in job A and where you're getting rupees 100 per hour, and in job B, which is the next best alternative, you will be getting rupees 80. Now the value of that next best alternative, that is job B, is something that you have to give up on having just to have that very job. तो जॉब बी को अगर आप चाहते हो करना तो जॉब ए में जितना भी पैसा मिल रहा था दैट वाज रुपीज़ 100, उसको अब नहीं मिलेगा, राइट? सो द अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट बिकम्स रुपीज़ 100 just to get into job B to get rupees 80. So this is what opportunity cost is, that is the value of next best alternative. As such it is simple, but in some of the test series I have seen that they have used such difficult language. So just as to make it easy, I've tried using an example. Otherwise it's really simple, and really I'm hoping that this thing has gotten clear now. It's nothing. So right now either way government is giving you rupees 100 just to stay idle, and if you go to work then you're gonna get rupees 80. So you would be really not be incentivized to go to work, and that's what we mean by unemployment trap. And that's also what we mean by an unemployment trap arises when the opportunity cost of going to work is higher than the income received. काम करने जाओगे तो 80 रुपीज़ मिलेंगे और अगर नहीं जा रहे हैं तो घर बैठे 100 रुपये मिल रहे हैं. सो द अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट ऑफ गोइंग टू वर्क इज हायर दैन द इनकम रिसीव्ड. दैट्स इट. सो वी हैव डन क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. Answer becomes B, the situation where unemployed people are unwilling to join the labor force. That's it. So let's get on to question number 2, which again is simple. With reference to Keynesian economics, which of the following statements is correct? Alright, number 1, it is considered as a supply side theory and focuses on the higher interest rate as a solution to economic woes. तो पहला है ये सिर्फ सप्लाई साइड थ्योरी है, इकॉनमी में क्या सप्लाई होगा उस पर फोकस रखेगी, और सब इकॉनमी की टेंशन का एक ही सोल्यूशन है, हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट. दिस इज व्हाट स्टेटमेंट 1 इज रेफरिंग टू. B is it is considered as a demand side theory and focuses on higher interest rate as a solution to the economy's woes. तो दूसरा बोल रहा है कि कीन्जियन इकोनॉमिक्स में हमें सिर्फ डिमांड की तरफ ध्यान देना है और सारी इकॉनमी टेंशन को दूर कर सकते हैं अगर हम इंटरेस्ट रेट को ज़्यादा रखेंगे. Alright. C is it is considered as a supply side theory and focuses on lower interest rates as a solution to economic woes. Quite self-explanatory again. And the last is it is considered as a demand side theory and focuses on लोअर इंटरेस्ट रेट एज ए सोल्यूशन टू इकोनॉमिक वूज. तो अभी पता होना चाहिए इकोनॉमिक्स जो है कीन्जियन का वो सप्लाई साइड है कि डिमांड साइड, और लोअर इंटरेस्ट रेट पे फोकस करता है या हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट पे. सो पॉज अ बिट, इट्स रियली सिंपल क्वेश्चन and do come up with the right answer. So let's see the answer now. So basically, Keynesian economics, the most important thing is it's a demand side economics. Please memorize this thing. Keynesian economics has nothing to do with the supply. And what do we mean by this? In general sense, it simply means that whenever there is recession in the economy or slowdown in the economic growth, then we just have to focus on the boosting up of demand, that is aggregate demand, and we will be back to the full level of employment. That's it. But we know in real economics this is not how things goes. Even if people are demanding goods and services, what if there is not enough of capacity in the economy? तो फिर तो inflation ही होगा, right? But then this is one of the flaw of Keynesian economics, but herein we really are not supposed to deviate too much. We just have to memorize that, alright, Keynesian economics is a demand side theory and that's it. Further, what is the solution to all the economic worries? It is simply lower interest rate. अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट कम होगा तो इन्वेस्टमेंट डिमांड ज़्यादा होगी. इन्वेस्टमेंट डिमांड, हियर वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द डिमांड फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट. दैट मीन्स डिमांड बाय द बिजनेस एंटरप्रेन्योर फॉर द कैपिटल गुड्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ मशीनरी एंड एवरीथिंग. सो अगर डिमांड ज़्यादा होगी तो ऑल टुगेदर एग्रीगेट डिमांड ऊपर जाएगा एंड वी विल बी बैक टू द फुल लेवल ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट. सो lower interest rate is the solution and not the higher interest rate. Interest is a cost of undertaking investment. It has to be low, right? अगर cost of investment ज़्यादा होगा तो फिर नहीं investment कोई भी undertake करेगा. So that's it. 2 points are important: Keynesian economics, demand side theory, and lower interest rate as a solution to economic woes. So answer becomes D here, and that's it. Let's get on to next question. Very, very simple for me to explain as such, although question is not that simple. The Global EV Outlook, an annual publication that identifies and discusses recent development in the electric mobility across the globe. So Global EV Outlook एक publication है annual वाली, जो ये दिखाता है क्या डेवलपमेंट हुआ इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी में पूरे दुनिया में, कौन सा एजेंसी इसको पब्लिश करती है, एंड दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. सो ग्लोबल ईवी आउटलुक is published by number 1 International Energy Agency, number 2 Society of Manufacturers of Electric Vehicles, C is World Electric Vehicle Association, D is International Council on Clean Transportation. So do pause a bit and try to come up with the right answer. Every year there is one question on to these reports. तो अभी से याद कर लें, अगर नहीं भी आता तो आंसर here is A, that is International Energy Agency. Only 3 points are important: the name, the Global EV Outlook, that is Electronic Vehicle Outlook, plus it's an annual publication, हर साल इसको publish किया जाता है, and who publishes it? International Energy Agency. That's it. Memorize it and then we are good to go. Let's look at last question, which is really simple because it's on polity, and polity is always easy and simple. So let's get on to it. A bill to amend the Article 368 of the Constitution would require to be number 1. तो अगर हमको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट करनी है, आर्टिकल 368 को ही अमेंड करना है, तो कैसा करेंगे? 3 ऑप्शंस हैं हमारे पास. नंबर 1, इट हैज़ टू बी पास्ड बाय अ majority of 2/3 of the members of each house of parliament present and voting. try to understand this statement on your own, and we are on to statement number 2 now. Second, the bill has to be passed by a majority of the total membership of each house of the parliament. All right. And the third is, the bill has to be ratified by legislatures of not less than 1/2 of the states. So what is the right answer here? Now options are 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 only, or all of these. So pause a bit. You must be able to solve this question because it's of polity. So pause a bit and try to come up with the right answer, and let's see the answer now. Now herein all of these statements are correct. In order to amend the Article 368, we have to comply with all the 3 provisions written over here. Number 1, the bill has to be passed by majority of 2/3 of the members of each house of parliament present and voting. Let's say in Lok Sabha there are 100 people, although they are not 100, but just for the sake of making a simple example I am saying so. तो लोकसभा में अगर 100 लोग हैं, राज्यसभा का एग्जाम्पल अभी छोड़ते हैं, और सेम राज्यसभा पे भी एप्लीकेबल होगा. सो इट हैज़ टू बी पास्ड बाय मेजॉरिटी ऑफ 2/3 ऑफ द मेंबर्स ऑफ ईच हाउस ऑफ पार्लियामेंट प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग. तो 100 में से अगर प्रेजेंट हैं 50, और 50 में से भी अगर वोट कर रहे हैं ओनली लेट्स से 30, तो बस उनका 2/3 चाहिए ऑफ 30. 100 टोटल हैं, 50 प्रेजेंट हैं, और 50 प्रेजेंट से भी 30 ही वोट कर रहे हैं. देन 2/3 ऑफ दोज 30 वुड बी नीडेड. दिस इज कंडीशन 1. प्लस एंड, इट्स नॉट और हियर, इट्स एंड. तो 30 के अलावा दूसरा कंडीशन भी चाहिए. इट हैज़ टू बी फुलफिल्ड, एंड दैट इज द बिल पास्ड बाय अ मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द total membership of each house of the parliament. So if there are 100 people in Lok Sabha, then majority would be 50. तो 50 लोगों को तो पास करना ही करना है. So that's it. And the third is ratified by legislatures of not less than 1/2 of the states. तो states को legislatures को simple majority के साथ ही इसको ratify करना है. This is either way simple, but don't get confused between point A and 2. And it's not over here, it's and. So all these 3 conditions are supposed to be met in order to amend the Article 368 of the Constitution. So I hope this thing is clear now, and still if you have gotten any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. We'll try to cover that again. So we are done. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.